The sudden UFOs encounters, possessed passengers, or shapeshifters on board.
But I am telling you right now, that mother back there is not real.
Sometimes it all just starts to happen unexpectedly.
Take a seat down, please. Please take a seat. Thank you. Please take a seat right now. Whether
you call it a coincidence or not, it is hard to believe that these moments were actually filmed on camera. Though many online viewers initially dismissed it as just another in-flight disturbance, several passengers claimed the woman appeared to be possessed. On April 3rd, 2024, chaos erupted aboard a Spirit Airlines flight when a woman began shouting uncontrollably, terrifying those on board. Witnesses said her behavior felt the situation to be unnatural and escalating, and the police were called to the scene.
I'm not scared. I've been there before.
As she resisted removal and continued to cause unrest, authorities decided to empty the entire plane so she could be taken away safely. The incident quickly went viral, with many believing the evacuation itself signaled just how serious and alarming the situation had become.
Can I do that with freedom? All I care about is freedom.
Disruptive passenger. This incident happened on a flight traveling from Austin to Los Angeles, when a passenger became disruptive mid-air on November 28th, 2024. Video footage later showed the individual standing on a seat and repeatedly kicking it, while nearby passengers remained seated and calm. After the plane landed in Los Angeles, authorities determined the passenger was not himself and was having an episode. The FAA launched an investigation into the incident, and United Airlines confirmed that the individual has since been permanently banned from flying with the airline. Before we start, hit like and subscribe to stay alert, because these strange moments from around the world weren't supposed to exist. Silently escalating dispute. It doesn't take many flying trips in a commercial airliner to experience something like this.
Ensure your seatbelt is fastened, your seat back in the tray table are in the upright and last position.
Two young women were involved in a dispute over a reclining seat, when the passenger seated in front, instead of dealing with it, escalated the situation by placing her hair over the back of the seat. The woman in the back, too, decided to retort by placing several pieces of chewing gum into her hair. The situation further escalated when the hair was also placed into a cup of fruit juice. A bystander seated behind both individuals began recording the incident as it unfolded, but stopped filming before the situation concluded. Mosquito swarm. When it comes to traveling by air, certainly no one likes to have a Jumanji-like experience. On October 6th, a Volaris flight from Guadalajara to Mexico City was delayed for several hours after a massive swarm of mosquitoes overtook the cabin. Passengers discovered they weren't alone when the tiny insects began biting and buzzing throughout the plane. Footage captured by traveler Elizabeth Esmeralda Minjares Corona shows flight attendants frantically waving their arms and spraying insect repellent to fend off the relentless pests. Originally scheduled to depart at 4:30 p.m., the flight was postponed until 7 p.m., leaving passengers stuck in an unusually chaotic and itchy ordeal. Mysterious Dementor. Last February, online speculation surged after a flight passenger reported spotting a strange object outside her window. The figure, moving swiftly alongside the aircraft, resembled something out of a sci-fi movie, like a Harry Potter Dementor, an alien craft, or another mysterious entity. The passenger, unable to identify the unusual shape herself, captured it on video and shared it online, inviting netizens to speculate. Zoe Montoya, a PhD student on a Southwest Airlines flight from Nevada to Oklahoma, uploaded the footage to her TikTok account over the weekend, where it quickly went viral, amassing millions of views and sparking widespread curiosity and imaginative discussions across social media. Malfunctioning man.
Sit down, please. Please take a seat. Thank you. Please take a seat right now.
Only minutes before a British airliner could take off, an onboard passenger started acting erratically and continued to ignore the crew's instructions, delaying the takeoff.
Sit right now. Take a seat. Sir, please take a seat.
For several minutes, he kept getting up and down from his seat, leaving everyone in unease. To avoid any escalation, no one intervened, and eventually, police officers stepped in. They attempted to talk to the man while walking out, but considering the situation, they had to force him out.
Your behaviour is not acceptable.
Cube UFO. 2 years earlier, in February, an Airbus A320 was cruising along its usual route above Medellin, Colombia, when a pilot observed a puzzling object beyond the cockpit glass. The metallic-appearing shape moved past in a straight path, and when examined more closely, a dark-colored cube form became clearer. It was believed to measure around 10 to 15 feet across. Some specialists have suggested an intriguing idea that this event might indicate advanced civilizations, possibly sending probes while preparing for future interaction with humanity someday ahead. Karen on board. One of the demerits of flying in a commercial airliner is that at some point, you may have a Karen on board who starts to behave like this.
You really think they're going to open the door? Well, I'm not opening it. I'm not.
As the arrival time of the flight was delayed due to multiple reasons, she basically wanted to talk to the pilot to ask why she was knocking on the pilot's door to get attention. When other passengers on board questioned her, she claimed to be a part of the staff or worked for the airline.
I'm not opening it. I'm knocking. I work for the airline. I understand what's happening.
Which absence of a uniform alone would say it all, otherwise, and she seemed to be upset that some of them started recording her.
I'm not opening it. I'm just knocking. I'm just trying to see.
Unruly passenger.
Now, you can't hold us!
During an American Airlines flight from Los Angeles to Salt Lake City on September 6th, 2021, crew members and passengers became uneasy after an elderly man began behaving confrontationally without an apparent cause.
Sit! Is anyone else getting down? Sit!
The cabin crew, including the captain, handled the situation with a calm and rational demeanor, though the situation as the tension rose every time that he got up. At one point, he remained seated, but started behaving weirdly with a face mask. As soon as the flight landed, officers were called in to handle the situation.
Really?
Staring goblin. A passenger traveling on an airplane noticed something very unsettling. The figure, wearing a hoodie, stared at him continuously, and its face looked nothing like a normal person, especially as it seemed to be trying to stay low profile. The passenger only noticed it as the food cart passed by and took a picture, which later drew widespread attention online. Was it human, goblin, or alien? The figure appeared to be secretly observing the man, creating a scene that many found deeply unsettling. Cabin bat. On May 13th, 2022, an Air India flight to Newark departed from Delhi Airport, but about 30 minutes into the flight, a bat was spotted inside the cabin. The unexpected intruder caused concern among the crew, prompting the captain to make the decision to return the plane to the airport for safety. The incident disrupted the flight schedule and drew attention online as an unusual and alarming event for passengers and aviation observers alike. Twisting trails. Here's a sighting so bizarre, it defies easy explanation. Filmed in March 2019 from a commercial airliner, the footage only surfaced recently. It captures two smoke-like trails twisting and drifting through the sky, far from any visible aircraft. Gradually, the trails merge into a single, elongated streak stretching across the horizon. The video quickly gained viral attention, sparking endless speculation online. Some viewers suggested it could be an interdimensional entity, while others argued it might simply be the contrails of a distant jet at a specific altitude. Yet, no definitive answer exists, leaving observers to await the next unexplained phenomenon. Snake on plane. A startling incident occurred on an AirAsia Airbus A320-200 flying from Kuala Lumpur to Tawau, Malaysia, when a snake was discovered inside the aircraft mid-flight. The snake was seen in the illuminated area of the cabin, remaining mostly still until the plane was diverted. It is believed the reptile may have either escaped from a passenger's luggage or somehow climbed aboard from the ground before takeoff. The video of the snake, shared on Twitter by pilot Hana Mohsin Khan, quickly drew widespread attention online, leaving viewers unsettled by the unusual and alarming sight of a snake inside a commercial airplane while in midair. Wing creature. During a flight from LAX to Mexico on April 12, 2023, a passenger captured shocking footage of a strange creature that was clinging to the plane's wing mid-air. Considering the speed that commercial airliners typically move at shows, that this couldn't be some ordinary bird or animal. The high-definition video shows the unusual being moving bizarrely, leaving both passengers and aviation experts baffled. The footage quickly drew widespread attention, sparking debate and curiosity as specialists attempted to identify it. Its very presence raised a question of safety risk and an unsettling moment for everyone on board. Emergency door attempt.
I heard someone screaming maybe 3 rows behind me. There was one guy clearly trying to open the airplane door, with the guy sitting next to him just trying to pull him off the door.
An alarming incident occurred on an American Airlines flight from New Mexico to Chicago when a passenger allegedly attempted to open the emergency exit door mid-flight, February 22, 2024. Fellow travelers quickly intervened to prevent the situation from escalating, and several reported feeling a sudden rush of air as the man tried to pull the door open.
Several passengers said they definitely felt a rush of air when he allegedly tried to pull the door open.
The flight continued safely to its destination, where Albuquerque police met the plane upon landing and took the passenger into custody, handcuffed. The event caused significant concern among passengers and crew, highlighting the importance of in-flight vigilance and swift response to potential safety threats.
There's probably a lot of people out there terrified of flying, and this is going to make things better. This was hands down the scariest thing.
Somebody get some help!
Cloud-cloaked. While out on a boating cruise, the owner noticed this star cloud formation that appeared all of a sudden. From the sudden timing, the shape structure, and having appeared in front of the sun, the owner was convinced this couldn't have been some coincidence, but some type of divine message, and that this was some angel that was symbolically delivering a message. Aerial portal. On December 4th, 2025, a flight passenger who was heading from Lexington, Kentucky to Phoenix, Arizona, where on the way noticed a circular opening that was hidden just above a thick sheet of cloud. Initially, it was dismissed as some optical illusion until the airplane passed by. The inside of it was glowing bright, almost as if it were the sun on the other side of the portal. It had nothing going in or out of it, which would have explained more about it with no gravitational pull or anything as such of its own.
Whoa. What is that?
Supersonic UFO encounter. Up in the skies of LaGuardia, a passenger from a flight that was only minutes away began to descend for landing when he noticed an object that brushed off over the sky with super speed. It was only when the recording was later played at a much slower speed that the saucer-like shape became visible and apparent. As the clip caught the attention of the pilot and the air traffic control, they were appalled that this unknown aerial craft never appeared on the radar. Creepy crack. Imagine you are seated when suddenly a thunderous crack tears through the air. 5 years ago in May, while traveling from Chicago to New Jersey, a shocking incident happened. Just 30 minutes after departing Midway, a passenger's camera recorded a mid-air nightmare as a window broke, followed by a frightening boom. Fear stayed controlled as skilled pilots quickly rerouted the aircraft to Cleveland, protecting everyone on board. As the aircraft landed, deep breaths of relief spread across the cabin. Thankfully, every passenger stayed safe during the episode. However, for them, it became a trip marked by shocking, unexpected turbulence that none could forget. Doppelganger surprise. Back in October 31st, 2015, a passenger experienced an unusual moment while boarding a Ryanair flight to Galway via London Stansted, when he encountered someone who looked almost exactly like him sitting in his assigned seat. The man, later identified as Glasgow-based photographer Neil Thomas Douglas, was surprised by the striking resemblance, which quickly amused nearby passengers. The two shared a laugh and took a selfie together, which was later posted online and widely shared. The coincidence didn't end there, as both men later discovered they were staying at the same hotel in Galway and even crossed paths again at a local pub, turning the unexpected encounter into a lighthearted and memorable experience. Aerial trailing. Imagine having to find out that the very plane you own is being trailed by a UFO, possibly with hostile intentions. A passenger who thought that he was on just another trip, watching outside the window, taking in the scenery, when she noticed something floating beside the aircraft. Initially, it resembled a frisbee, yet as it drifted nearer, its real identity grew obvious. It appeared to be a thin UFO quietly observing the jet. The object then dropped downward before racing away at a stunning speed, almost like it wished to stay hidden. Flying jetpacker?
Has the mystery of those jetpack sightings near Los Angeles International Airport finally been solved?
In November 2020, the sighting of a jetpack man over Los Angeles started an FBI investigation, as multiple witnesses reported the unusual occurrence, initially believed to be a life-sized balloon.
It's a very good possibility that the previous ones were also balloons, and pilots mistook a jetpack.
The figure's distinctly humanoid shape fueled alternative theories. The rarely seen object was suspected to be a jetpack-equipped individual, whose appearances have previously caused disruptions in one of the busiest airspaces in the world.
We just passed a guy in a jetpack.
Use caution, there was a jetman reported just north of Gate C.
All right, we're looking for the R-man.
Local authorities confirmed that an inquiry had been launched into the jetpack sighting. Yet this marked the first instance in which the mysterious aeronaut was captured on camera, intensifying public fascination and speculation about this weird entity.
It says this remains under investigation. No one is under arrest. This, again, an active investigation. We'll have to wait and see what the FAA and FBI say.
Shadow figure. A patrolman finishing his shift at Mexico City Airport encountered a terrifying sight. On October 29, 2018, after hearing strange noises coming from a seemingly empty plane, he went aboard to investigate. As he shone his torch down the darkened aisle, it became clear no one else was on board. Suddenly, a shadowy figure appeared, peering around a corner, causing him to flee in fear. The eerie presence reportedly appeared twice during the inspection, leaving the officer visibly shaken. The incident, widely reported online, has been described as a chilling example of a supernatural or unexplained phenomenon on an otherwise empty aircraft. UFO swarm. This footage was shared by an anonymous source in an undisclosed location, showing not one, but several dozen of flying saucers that appeared passing by. They were described to look like something that of an invasion force. Above them, additional UFOs that were cloaked but had a kind of blinking lights could be seen as they passed by at a supersonic speed. These were said to be far away in international airspace, which is how they dodged detection by any military radar. Unidentified aerial object. An airplane flying just above the Sahara Desert on April 16, 2020, carried a passenger who spotted a bizarre aerial object just beyond the wing. Its shape was unlike any conventional drone or flying saucer, more closely resembling a crane. Even stranger, it showed no visible structure that could scientifically explain how it kept pace with the airliner. Moments later, the mysterious object vanished as suddenly and inexplicably as it had appeared, leaving the passenger astonished by the fleeting and unexplainable sighting high above the desert. Watching from clouds. An Asunción, Paraguay homeowner was relaxing with a morning coffee in the backyard of his home when he spotted something unusual in the sky. The event occurred on July 29, 2025. As high among the clouds, a shape resembling a standing figure appeared. Although it seemed humanoid, it was more reasonable to assume it could have been an aerial craft built in a similar style, much like the fictional Iron Man armor from the Marvel Universe. Because there was no movement and no zooming closer for detail, nothing definitive can truly be confirmed with certainty by observers at the scene that morning. At the time, there, then. Angel flyby. A passenger seated by the window on a flight departing Puerto Rico noticed what looked like an angelic figure passing by just minutes after takeoff while flying along the coast. The appearance lasted only a split second, making it difficult to fully understand what was seen. Still, it could be viewed as a rare, almost divine moment to witness something extraordinary without immediately assuming harmful intent behind the sudden and unexpected encounter. Flying Tic Tac. A passenger aboard a plane recently witnessed something astonishing in the sky. A large object spinning and drifting unpredictably. Its shape was oddly similar to a giant Tic Tac, and its identity remains unknown. What made the sighting even more puzzling was that the object cast a visible shadow, suggesting it was physically present. Was it an unusual aerial craft experiencing trouble, or something far stranger, like a rare visual anomaly? Whatever the explanation, the footage has left viewers everywhere confused and fascinated, sparking intense curiosity and debate. Giant alien ship. In September 2025, residents living near the Gulf of Guatemala reported witnessing an unusual event in the night sky. An object with a strange shape was seen gliding smoothly through the air, maintaining a steady and controlled course. Not long afterward, pilots revealed that an Apache helicopter operating nearby briefly experienced visual interference, as if its onboard viewing systems were affected. The object remained visible only briefly before disappearing into the distance. After footage surfaced online, conversation spread rapidly, with many noting how uncommon it was for such a sighting to seemingly impact nearby aircraft operations. Frozen sky plane. While recording the scenery from an airplane window, a passenger captured something deeply unsettling. Above the ocean, another aircraft appeared suspended in midair, completely motionless. It did not advance or drift, remaining fixed as though the world around it had frozen. The sight felt unreal, almost as if reality itself had stalled. Unable to understand how such a scene could exist, the passenger continued filming, knowing the moment would otherwise be impossible to explain. Once the footage appeared online, it spread rapidly, leaving viewers everywhere wondering whether the laws of reality were as reliable as they believed. UFO drone. Passengers aboard a flight over Tampa, Florida, were taking in the clear, peaceful skies when an unexpected sight appeared near the aircraft. A disc-like object suddenly came into view, illuminated by a gentle green glow that immediately drew attention. It lingered briefly, allowing its form and color to be clearly observed, before accelerating away at a speed unlike anything previously seen. Inside the cabin, conversation stopped as travelers struggled to process what they had witnessed. Long after the plane touched down, the strange encounter remained vivid in the minds of those who experienced it. Cloud-line shape. During a flight, passengers were at ease when an unusual sight appeared high above the cloud layer, far beyond normal flight paths. At around 35,000 feet, a wide, flat object seemed to hover quietly, as if it naturally belonged there. It showed no flashing lights and did not resemble anything familiar. Blending softly with the sky, the strange presence made the moment feel eerie and hard to understand. Unexpected sighting.
U.S. government could not say for certain what is in this video, but it is something physically going by the window.
In 2021, a seasoned Navy aviator was operating an F-18 fighter jet off the East Coast during what began as a standard mission. That routine quickly changed when an unidentified object entered his flight area. While scanning the surrounding airspace, the pilot managed to record the encounter using his phone. In an instant, a metallic, spherical object streaked past the aircraft at remarkable speed. Reports suggest this was not a lone event, as similar encounters have occurred over the years without public attention. Some believe these incidents remain undisclosed, raising questions about whether the full reality is being deliberately withheld. Close call encounter. One Dutch traveler on a Ryanair flight traveling from Eindhoven to Spain had a remarkable moment in September 2015. While passing above the Netherlands, the traveler spotted a dark, disc-shaped object speeding toward the plane's wing. Its fast movement created clear turbulence, prompting the captain to perform an emergency maneuver. The recording, once uploaded, rapidly circulated online, as news outlets described it as a close call involving the UFO and the aircraft. When clips like this surface, it becomes increasingly difficult to dismiss UFOs as simple myths. Weird sky trail. On a calm day in Mexico, a man glanced upward and noticed something that made no sense to him. The date was December 13th, 2009, and against the clear blue sky floated a strange white form. It appeared long and slender, slowly twisting as if it were a ribbon suspended in the air. The footage later spread online, where viewers gave it unusual nicknames and debated its nature. When NASA quickly dismissed the sighting, it only fueled more curiosity and skepticism. Many questioned why such an explanation came so fast, especially from an agency dedicated to studying the skies, leading some to believe more was known than was publicly shared. Bizarre aerial phenomenon. Rare footage from an airliner where on October 27th, a bright meteor streaked across the European part of Russia, capturing the attention of a flight attendant aboard a Ulyanovsk-Moscow flight. From an altitude of 10,000 meters, the attendant managed to record the stunning cosmic phenomenon as a glowing fireball illuminated the sky. The meteor appeared surprisingly close, yet its exact shape and origin were difficult to discern, leaving the observer in awe and uncertainty. The breathtaking footage, a rare glimpse of such an event from high above, quickly drew attention online, showcasing the fleeting beauty of a meteor blazing across the Russian sky. Humanoids on cloud. As ridiculous as this may sound, the source claimed it to be real. Recently, a clip started to get viral on the internet showing a series of unidentified humanoids that were somehow walking on the clouds. Judging from the different body sizes, it looked almost as if these were families in a park. One of these humanoids even happened to step on the wing of the plane out of curiosity. The source described the scene to be almost that of being in a dream, being in the heavy. However, not much about this video is known. UFO sighting. Catching sight of an unidentified flying object at point-blank range while aboard a plane is likely the last place anyone would expect or want to encounter one. A passenger plane cruising over the Arctic, just below the North Pole, suddenly had its occupants staring in disbelief at an unknown flying saucer hovering right beside them. It had lights over and underneath it that made it possible for the pilots and passengers to spot it in time. Though they were just as much of fear as curious, they were seeing the sighting unfold.
Nossa!
Cloud-cloaked colossus.
Não sei, a impressão, vou te falar assim, um respeito muito grande por ela. Ela é muito grande, você vê o tamanho dela, muito grande.
Earlier this year, on April 14th, 2025, a helicopter, Captain Hamilton was flying the skies of Sao Paulo, Brazil, when he noticed something that caught him by surprise. A gigantic UFO that first appeared on his radar only partially before he noticed it hiding in plain sight. The gigantic UFO craft was using clouds as well, and had a layer around it that had it blended in very nicely with the clouds. Like the sun, it also seemed to be glowing very brightly, which gave it another benefit of the doubt. Cylindrical flying object. An unknown source traveling aboard an airplane at roughly 12,000 meters above the ground was caught completely off guard when a strange cylindrical object suddenly came flying past the aircraft. By pure coincidence, the source was already filming and managed to capture the moment on camera, later letting out a sigh of relief after realizing how close the encounter had been. It remains unclear whether the object was some kind of UFO-type craft or possibly a fragment of a crashing satellite from outer space, especially given its hollow-looking structure. Hidden aerial station? The author of this video was on a flight passing through the skies of Poland, when, on the way, he noticed this gigantic object that looked anywhere from an aircraft to something of a station. It seemed to be hovering on top of a thick sheet of clouds, where, along with its body color, it almost made it completely invisible. To seek answers and possibilities of what this could be, the footage was shared online, where almost every viewer connected this to be related. Endless wall. A pilot from an unknown cargo plane, while passing above the mountains of Yakutia, noticed an obvious line of wall in the land. Curious about what he was seeing, he zoomed in for a closer look and realized the structure had a rectangular shape and an enormous scale, resembling a massive wall stretching across the terrain. Its size and precision made it stand out clearly from the natural landscape. Rather than focusing on where the wall begins or ends, the real mystery lies in who built such a structure in such a remote area and why. The purpose and origin of this strange formation remain unknown. Open discussion.
I'm telling you, I'm getting the off, and there's a reason why I'm getting the off, and everyone!
This picture and video were taken on April 9th, 2025, by a passenger aboard United Airlines as the passengers were getting on board, who first thought that he was filming an upset Karen on board, who claimed one of the persons on board wasn't a normal human being.
But I am telling you right now, that mother back there is not real!
Moments later, another passenger, for similar reasons, panicked and wanted to get off the plane, claiming to have seen an alien or shape-shifting-like person. The recorder, while being confused and terrified, was not able to spot the accused, whom he kept on recording, hoping to catch him on camera. The video has definitely reached its end. I will see you again with another video. Until then, you can check out these other videos for a wow dose of entertainment and knowledge.